Has gaming peaked, or is there more that we just haven't uncovered yet?
Super Retro Force.
That is what we're going to be touching on for a bit today. Now, I wanted to do this kind of as a short form video to kind of get your guys' mental juices going, because I will be talking about this on a live podcast with a guest. At least one of these people will be from our lovely group, the Super Retro Force. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because I just wanted to see if it was just me, or if maybe we actually have peaked and we're just kind of at a stagnant spot, so to speak. As we have seen throughout gaming history, with a new console not only comes new games, but new innovations and new ways to kind of look at things. Going as far back as the Atari 2600, we had a joystick to try to emulate the arcade experience in home. And from that point on, with each new console came a new style of controller. Up to the point where PlayStation adopted the analog sticks, it looked as if we have perfected how we should have a game controller. Of course, there's been some minute changes after that, but there hasn't really been a drastic change to the controllers. Is there something more that we could offer from a control standpoint and we just haven't uncovered it because we are just okay with what we have? Or is there something else that we could possibly do to push innovation and make a new style of controller? And then regarding gaming itself, with each new console came better graphics. We had the 2D plane all the way up until the PS1, N64 / Sega Saturn era, which a lot of people refer to as the polygon era. And from that point on, we would also see different transitions and innovations with the graphical content that we got with each new console. That being said, in my personal opinion, everything peaked during the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 era. Although we had the PS2 and the original Xbox pushing the envelope with online gaming, during the Xbox 360 and PS3 era, I felt that that was the peak of online gaming. And with the push of innovation of online gaming, it had our developers making better games for a better online experience. Fast forward to today, and it seems like a lot of the games that we used to gravitate towards growing up, or even going into, like I said, the 360 and PS3 era, have kind of almost gone to the wayside, and most people put most of their focus into either fighting games, first-person shooters, or possibly even racing games. Having such a strong emphasis on just those three genres, in my opinion, have made things stale. Is it because, oh, you just suck at first-person shooters? No, that's not it. What I'm getting at is there are other types of games, and I'm not saying that there's not other games out there that people like to enjoy. I just have seen from just the outside looking in, the perception just looks as if those are the main ones that people tend to focus in on or try to hype up whenever a new game is coming out. Typically, it's within one of those genres. Something else I have noticed, and I believe some of you guys will agree with me on this, I've noticed that a lot of newer games are actually going backwards in their presentation. And what I mean by that is they're trying to make things more retro, rather be pixelated graphics, or just trying to give that old school feel, like taking games that were from an older era and trying to almost put a fresh coat of paint on it and make it brand new, so to speak. And an example that I'm going to use, so that way you guys know where I'm going with this, is the game Binding of Isaac. Clearly, it's basically Zelda, but they just put a different coat of paint on it and presented it as something new. Now, am I saying that that is a bad thing? No, that's not what I'm getting at. But the issue at hand is that with the younger generations, they look at that and they think that it's something brand new, whereas older gamers such as myself are going to be like, this isn't new, this is just Zelda. Like, I had to explain that to my nephews when they tried to get me to play Binding of Isaac. I explained to them that it was nothing new, it was just basically like Zelda, but with a fresh coat of paint on it. I'm not taking away from it saying it's a bad game. Again, just using that as an example as to kind of how I feel like if we haven't peaked, why are we going back and taking old things and just trying to make them new instead of creating brand new ideas? And at this point, I just feel like there is nothing else that they can do without going complete VR and just basically making things with better graphics or better refresh rates. Now, I could be wrong, and there could be things that get created that will pique my interest. However, I have noticed that ever since the 360 and PS3 era, my personal interest on brand new games has been on a steady decline. And the big reason is I feel like the originality is practically gone, and I feel as if that we have peaked, in my opinion, as far as the whole experience goes, and there hasn't really been anything new brought to the table. Which all of this will segue into a different topic that I'll be talking about in another video and also on another podcast, but I will end today's video currently where we are sitting, and I just want to hear back from you guys as to what your thoughts are on this topic. That being said, thanks again for watching, everybody, and then I'll be seeing you in the next video.